Hey everybody, welcome to the Falcon one-shot. On the agenda today we have King of Dragon Pass, which is actually a title that came out originally in 1999. It's set in a fictional world of Glorantia after the fall of men and gods living together. Dragons involve a big war with the dragons, and I'm actually really excited about this. I took it out for a bit of a spin. It takes place more of an RPG type of strategic game where it's really text and story heavy. You make choices depending on what your clan and your, I guess, round table essentially advises you on. There's a lot of choices to make in this game with a lot of amazing events that actually happen based on your decisions. So we're gonna actually load into a preloaded save that I have going on over here because the start of the game actually takes up a little bit of time making a lot of decisions and choices that will actually forge your nation to begin with, and then the game kind of sets you loose to kind of do whatever you want. So we'll be skipping that portion, but I will actually run it down here a little bit. So let's go into play. Now this right here is where most of your daily activities will be taking place. Down over here is going to be your ring, which is the round table that I alluded to. These will be your main advisors, and they'll give you advice based on their stats in particular aspects, whether it's combat, trading, warring, magic, keeping a peace with other nations. They will essentially give you advice based on their stats. So for instance, if you had an event where war or fighting or combat was in mind, you would probably come over to this guy over here because, as you can see, combat is excellent. That's what his stats going to be in that. So if you were looking for really good advice or a good choice based on something that was combat related, you would probably try to follow what he has to say, as opposed to, for instance, this character who's combat, well, she's very good, so it's not too bad. This guy over here whose combat is fair, right? So you'll probably take this guy's word over him. However, just because you're taking the word of a better I guess roundtable member based on their advice doesn't necessarily mean that's the right choice, because sometimes you might want to avoid combat if you feel that you aren't really up to par, and this guy's going to be really gun happy about, hey, let's go to war, do it, come on, do it. What do you want to do it? Just do it. So essentially, you kind of have to make choices based on that. So we come over to the side menu over here, for instance, to go to farming. This will tell you what your nation is actually producing, how much land they're using, things of that nature. So for instance, right now we have cropland at 105. Our max amount of this could be 160, and this is based on how many workers and extra peasants you have running around. Our pasture, we have 55. Our max is going to be 185. Now, it's not necessarily important to max these things out. Right now at farming, let's see what you have to say. Our food situation seems okay. The expected harvest should last a year. Great. So she's telling me that everything's looking all right. And in terms of plants, she's very good. Animals, she's good. So, it's not bad advice, but let's see if we get something even better here. Now, for instance, Irene is giving us specific numbers, so it's something you might want to take a look at here. We need 262 farmers and 210 oxen to work all of our cropland. We have 381 healthy farmers and 271 of our cattle are strong, young oxen. So this right here is telling us that we definitely do have the numbers allotted to make this over here happen. So for the whole year, the cropland should be fine if we follow these numbers over here, for instance. Now we could actually slaughter our oxen in case we have a little bit of a plant drought or something. We have not enough food being produced in the fields themselves. We could actually slaughter some cows and actually get some extra food that way. You also have blessings over here that will actually be accumulated through magic. So for instance, for magic, you might want to, sometimes get the blessing of a divine god, and these clan members will tell you exactly, hey, we haven't necessarily made our annual sacrifice to so-and-so, we haven't built the shrine for so-and-so. You might want to do that, or else, that god might anger, and they're not going to bless us, meaning we'll have a lower income when it comes to a better field for next year in terms of keeping our people fed. We could go on and on about this right now, but let's actually get a random event happening over here and show you how this over here affects the random events, and also what our numbers actually affect to the events over here. So let's check this out here. These events will be happening based on when you skip time forward, obviously, and also at the same time, whenever, for instance, if we were to go back to the main menu and I was to make, say, a sacrifice to a god, that could essentially also trigger an event because it's also moving time forward at the same time. So right now, we have a creature the likes of which you have never seen before hails the guards on your perimeter. He introduces himself as Matharnia the Magnificent and requests parley with the clan ring. So this guy wants to come over here and talk to my, my round table in a sense here, right? So we have a few choices over here, and all these choices will be based on what these people have to say. So you can kind of pick one based on their advice, or again, since you're the king, just base it on your own advice and kind of steer things towards another way. She says, shoo him away. What do you have to tell me? Never slap a hand I'll stretch to you in friendship. So she would like to invite him to the clan hall or invite him to the market square. let's get him inebriated and see if he spills any dragon secrets. So, for the most part, a lot of people are kind of going with it. Go ahead and invite him to the clan hall and see what he has to say. There used to be creatures like this all over the continent, but in most places they are now just memories. And then you, if it does not mean us harm, we're better to keep it outside our fortifications. So, invite him into your lands, but no further. So, for the most part, we're getting a lot of more invite him to the clan hall and see what's going on over here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and pick that one right now. Mathrania politely declined to enter the hall, fearing that he would bump his head, but spoke with us in the market square. Alright. Your people are remembered here. It is said that you believe in 6 social virtues, assuming for the sake of argument that you had to choose between them, which virtue would you say is the most important? Alrighty, so a lot of these would be more inclined to just events and choices that you make. So right now he's telling us defense, honor, these are the choices that we have: defense, honor, hospitality, justice, obedience, and provision. These are all choices that I probably made when I first started the game and went through the menu to kind of give the overall feel of what my nation was going to be over here. So he's asking me to pick which one means the most to me, however. So, let's see here. This guy is saying honor. You don't really have much to say about this. You have much to say. Defense? Don't know. Hospitality? So right now we kind of have a choice for just about every choice, and then the other ones don't have choices. They're just saying, I got nothing to say about this one. So, at this point, I would say we just kind of make a choice of our own here. So let's go with honor. He thanked us for our answer. He gave us an archaic form of departing words and left. And that's it. Now, nothing really came out of this that you could see right now, but a lot of these events will have actually an overlying theme or event down the line. For instance, if we go to clans, where's the clans one? Well, I don't see it here, but when we were in that middle of that transaction, or at least that event going on, we had a little bit of a menu over here saying about clans. Now, there was an event that I had at one point where we actually found the leftovers and the remains corpses of some dragons, or some newts, if you have to be precise about it. And we didn't want anything to do with them based on what my clan was saying, but apparently, some of them actually said, you know what, go ahead and trade it off for some goods. Maybe you could actually get some money off of that, or some cattle. So I looked at the little sub-clan menu that we had going on in the last screen over, and some of them were actually like nations that adhered to dragon and magic. So taking that corpse over to them and be like, hey, I got this corpse, you want to do anything with this? They'd be like, yeah! And they'd offer you some, cattle and goods for it. So a lot of things like that you kind of have to be really aware of here. Alright, so right now we have Ornstanor, a member of the Squad Oak clan, says that he has been tracking a magnificent white stag. He has seen it several times over the past few years and thinks it is now in the forested part of Yurtula. He seeks permission to hunt it. Alrighty, so let's see what our people have to say about this here. So Nalstara is saying give him permission. You're saying we might consider this request if given gifts. I like the way you think. You have nothing to say about this? What you do. Let's see what you have to say. In asking our permission, he shows respect for the law. That's a good point. The stag is magical. If we help take it, our clan magic will benefit. Now, she's more of a magic-inclined person in our ring, so she would say something like that. Agree, but only if he lets you hunters join in the party. Hunt the stag yourself. And you are saying refuse permission, you are saying refuse, and you are saying hunt the stag yourself. I kind of like the idea of acquiring a little bit more magic for our clan over here. So, let's go ahead and agree, but only if he lets your hunters join into the party, and see if we can just kind of strong-arm him to get the body off of him afterwards. So as you can see, we got magic +1 based on this event. Together they caught the stag. It was a magnificent beast indeed, and there was glory enough for both clans. So, we also got +50 food. True to their word, the ducks... Oh, this is actually an event that happened before we started recording today. But I had a random event where some duck people, yeah, you heard me right, quack quack, duck people were in some fields close to our land. So we kind of strong-armed them and we're like, hey, you know what? If you want to stay here without, pissing us off and getting us into a warring type of situation, you need to give me 50 food for our people. And you need to do this yearly. Otherwise, you'll have some trouble. And we had the chance right there of that offsetting and costing us grave ill because those ducks apparently are magicians from ancient times. So luckily for us, they agreed and they didn't want any problems, and they actually, apparently came over here and they gave us some food. And they'll give us some more next harvest round too, which is actually really great. Anyway, guys, this is King of Dragon Pass. Again, we've only barely scratched the surface of this game. There is a lot to do, unfortunately, but there's just way too much to do in this little short video to give you an idea as to what happens. But hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like to support. That's mean a lot. Check out the game. It comes out on July 28. If you are interested in it, there should be a link in the description below for you to check it out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will catch you next time.